welcome to the Colour Cave. My name's Jem and I like to play with art stuff. I have here a copy of Ticket to Dreams by Karolina Kubikowska, which I decided to purchase after thoroughly enjoying her other book, Po Drugiej Strony Snu. If you want to take a look at that one, I shall pop a link in the card up here and you can go and have a look at that one and then maybe come back here afterwards if you like that kind of thing. I decided to purchase this book because I really enjoyed her first book and I just wanted more. That's as simple as that. So I had a little bit of a dig about and I have found that prices for the book vary greatly and they swing wildly. Number one, depending on where you are in the world and what your shipping is going to be, and number two, where you actually source the book from. As a general rule, I did do a little bit of homework and the cheapest way, generally speaking, seems to be to go directly to our website, which is what I did. So it was shipped from there to the UK to me, and I think all in I paid about £14 there or thereabouts. So if it's something that you're interested in, I will leave a link to the website down below and you can go and check it out. In the meantime, let's grab the book and let's get going. So here we have it. This is how it arrived in the packaging, which I think is just so pretty. The confetti's lovely. It's a little bit messy though, but that's okay. Get this out of the way. Okay, so let's go. This is quite exciting. These little stickers. It seems to be very well wrapped and well packaged. As I say, it did come from Poland. I had got this directly from Karolina's website. And here we go. It's pretty well protected. I don't even know how I'm going to get into this. I think I'm going to have to get myself my little craft knife. Okay. I'm going to do this the safest way. And when I say safest way, I mean the least likely to disturb or damage any of the book itself. Let's see if I can get this off. We may be here for some time. Oh no, there we go. Ooh. Okay. The first and most noticeable thing about this book is it is a square format and it is spiral bound. Now generally speaking, I'm not fussed either way on spiral binding. The only time that I find it an issue is if the book itself is single-sided images, because those tend to be on the right hand side when the book is opened out, and being left-handed the spine tends to get in the way. When it's double-sided images it's not quite so bad, and obviously right-handed people have the same problem but just on the opposite page with the spine getting in the way. So not a deal breaker, but I know some of you really like to have spiral bound books and you actually make a point of spiral binding them yourself, so this one saves you a job. So the first thing to notice about the front cover, apart from the very distinctive image on the front that clearly belongs to Karolina, is that there is some nice gold edging here and it just sets it off. It's really pretty. And the front cover, it's not particularly sturdy, but with the glossy coating it'll just help to keep, you know, the pages inside protected. Oh, we have a cat. How cute is that? The title page on the inside, it feels like, it's made of the same paper as the rest of the book, so you'll be able to colour this in. Now the paper does feel quite smooth, so it'll be interesting to see how our pencils perform on this paper. Paper, it's quite thick. I would say it's leaning more towards card than paper if I'm honest, which is quite nice. You should be able to rough it up a bit and not have too many casualties. So here we have the publisher and copyright information, and then we have a nameplate page, which, just to note, is in English. Her other book, Po Drugiej Strony Snu, is in Polish. So this is a bit of a change. And this is a really fresh image. It's not like anything that was in her other book, so it's quite nice to see some new content, but it is still quite distinctive. She has left her sketch lines in, which again, was the same in her other book, and you can only see them very faintly. You might not be able to see them on camera, so I'll just zoom in and see if we can get a bit of a closer look. There we go. So you can see some of them here. These are her original pencil lines when she was sketching out the the images. You can see there's a little bit there. So it is a very sort of stylistic thing. It's something that is very distinctive and specific to Karolina's pictures. Alright, let's get into the meat of it. Okay, so we've got a blank page here, and this straight away you can tell that this is one of Karolina's drawings, just the way that she draws her leaves and everything, and again those sketch lines that are in there. The first thing that strikes me about this is it doesn't seem to be as dark, and there doesn't seem to be as much cross hatching and things in this image, so it'll be interesting to see if there's more of that throughout the book, and perhaps it lends itself more to colorists in terms of the colours that you pick and dealing with shading and that kind of thing. Oh wow, so we have a story. I'm not going to read it out to you, I'm not going to spoil it for you. And again, some very distinctive Karolina type images here, these little mushrooms and little berries down here. Oh yeah, look at that, that's nice. Now see, this is the thing that puts me off spiral binding books. The images that actually go over into the perforations, and that's something that, that irritates me slightly, I'm not going to lie. There definitely seems to be more white space in each of the different parts of the illustration. Again, I think this is to facilitate more the colouring aspect of the book. Now this is more what I would associate with Karolina, you know, much darker areas. So here we have one of her little girls with her eyes closed, maybe she's dreaming, and an animal with a crown. Now, where have we seen that before? Hannah Carlson. That's kind of cute though. I don't know whether I think he's a squirrel and this is his tail. I was going to say, if you take that away, it kind of looks a bit chipmunky. Chipmunky? Monkey. Oh yeah, okay, so I take back what I said. Obviously I'm blind to this, you know, this is, you know, the first time I'm looking at it, but we're into the darker images and what I would associate more with Karolina. They're so pretty though. I love this swan and the pool of water, that's lovely. And here's our more of our signature little girls with their little circly rosy cheek areas. This one's stars in as well. This is really nice, I like this too. She's hugging our wolf or whatever animal it is. There's quite a few animals in this. Now this is interesting. You can't see it on camera, but up here this is slightly out of focus. I would say probably from about here upward. The areas round about this is all very clear, but this part is out of focus, so I don't know whether that is intentional or whether it's poor copying, but that it looks kind of strange. This image is absolutely fine. They're good paws and feet everywhere. Oh wow. Oh, mushrooms. And this bear, look at this bear, God, he's interesting. There seems to be a much more varied range of pictures in this book. Oh, here we have the second chapter of the story. They are numbered. So maybe it'll make a bit more sense if I actually read the story, but as I say, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'll read it myself. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of animals in this one. This is very reminiscent of the girl in her other book, just with the pendant and the sort of serene look on her face. Again, the same here in the pool of water. Look at that. That would be absolutely stunning with the dark background. You could do a really good number on that. I really like that one. Oh, here's the moon and our moth. Again, this is more, you know, in the same vein as the last book. Butterflies. And another chapter. Oh, freaky face. If we're going to get the freaky branchy claw things, it's going to be in this chapter. I can tell already. Oh, this is quite weird, isn't it, with the eyes and the... Oh, that's cool. Yeah, this looks more like a nightmare section. Oh, wow, look at that as well. Oh, that's creepy. I love it. I love creepy. These sort of frantic looking birds as well with the black. I always think it's the blanked out eyes that make them look creepy. It's not that the feathers are all the, you know, all the dark parts. It's the eyes. This paper is quite thick. And it looks like something's coming to get her, doesn't it? This is nice as well. There's something a little bit more abstract, a house with the tentacle round it. And chapter 4. Yeah, this seems, obviously the line thicknesses are quite different on this page, but this looks as if it's been a sketch that's been blown up to accommodate the page, because the lines just aren't that sharp and tidy, and especially when you flick over to here and see how fine the line thickness is, that's a kind of telltale sign that this has been a much smaller drawing. You know, this isn't been drawn to scale and put in the book. This has been a much smaller illustration that's been blown up, and the line quality has suffered for it. This is different as well. I don't know if this is a sunrise or a sunset or a meteor, or I don't know what's going on there, but it's still strange enough for me to like it. We have another of our little girls here. I'm just making sure I'm not skipping any pages. I say the paper is really thick. Really, really thick. I like the fact that she lets you know, she does depict the moon in her pictures, so she lets you know that it's meant to be nighttime, so that can obviously influence your colour choices throughout. There's a little girl as well with her third eye, so maybe she's got a sixth sense. Again, this is really, I really wish you could see this on camera. Maybe if I don't know if this is going to work or not, but that is so out of focus. Now, I think you can see that. That's not me wobbling it about. If I just show you the butterflies on this page, you can see how sharp the images are, and then if I bring it back over to these leaves in the corner, they're really, really out of focus. That's a shame, because it does kind of, actually, you keep trying to autofocus your eyes on this page to try and right the blurriness. I think that's just poor copying. That's a shame. And yet these images, they're absolutely crystal clear. They're absolutely crystal. Back to more of our girls here. This lady's all wrapped up in something. I'd say that this person looks slightly older. I don't know whether it's the shape of her face. This is definitely, you know, obviously a young girl, but this is still a young girl, but maybe just not as young. Oh, I like this one. Oh, I think this is my favourite in the book, a double page. This is where my issue with spiral binding comes in. When the image digs into the perforations, it's just something that gets my goat, because I'm going to have a white line down the centre unless I deliberately try and manipulate my pencil in between, and this is why I don't spiral bind any of my books. But I absolutely love this picture. This is definitely my favourite, with all the little flags and the turrets. I really like this. And we have a smaller chapter, chapter 5 here. More of the same, so this is obviously taking place in the same sort of setting. We have the moon here again. We have more animals, and animals with castles. This kind of thing doesn't faze me anymore. I would expect this from Karolina now, after having seen her other book, which had one of the images was a sort of building, and it had an eye on the side of it. I was like, oh, okay. Here we are, some more animals, a little deer here, and what looks again like a fox or maybe a wolf, I would say. Look at these creepy cats, these with the eyes. Oh, look at these two as well. That's all the flowers in the tail up here. That's very cool. That is very, very cool. Little birdie, a raccoon. More bears with some baby bears this time. Owl as well. I love his eyes. Her eyes. Its eyes. Another double page. Again, oh man, what am I going to do with that? There's definitely more clean space. I know that some of the pictures are still quite dark, but there's definitely more clean space in this book than there was in the other one. Here's a sort of abstract-y type. I don't really know what that's supposed to be, but yeah, this is supposed to be a double page. This is joined on. Yeah. And again, you're getting in there with pencils. That's just not going to be that much fun. Chapter 6. Little girl. This is obviously a recurring theme now, is people in pools of water. Maybe everybody in Karolina's dreamland just likes swimming. Oh, or maybe they're all mermaids, I don't know. Oh, look at this guy. Here's some of our sort of gem formations that she's used in her other book as well. Little house. Now see, that could be really picturesque, but it could also be incredibly creepy depending on what colour scheme you went for. I like that because that's subjective. Oh, this one's one-sided. I think this might be one-sided because it is the cover image. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, that one is blank, so you can go to town with markers on that one. Oh, these ones are all single-sided, look. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, so if you are a marker person, you have the opportunity to do some of the pictures and markers and not worry about ruining anything on the back. A rabbit with 3 eyes. Okay, that's kind of creepy too. No, that's different as well. I like the fact that some of the images in this book are simpler. Oh, Karolina, you are a star. She has given us a colour testing page. How nice is that? And this page here, this is the back cover, which has the same wash on it as the front and just the title and the illustrator's name at the bottom. Okay, so that is all the images. I am going to quick grab some pens and pencils and I'm going to test them out on the testing page that has been left for us, and let's see what happens. Okay, so first things first, we're going to try some pencils and see how we go. So first of all, I have Prismacolor pencils. I have cerulean or cerulean blue, depending on how I want to pronounce that. And I also have Crimson Lake. The reason that I've picked these two pencils is that the warmer red tones seem to lay down a lot more pigment than blue tones, particularly with these pencils. So I wanted to test them both to see what the lay down's like. So I'm just going to have a little go here. Now I'm just using a medium pressure. Let me zoom in a little bit and we can see what's going on. So I'm just using a medium pressure and you can see the tooth of the paper there is showing through. And let's try with red. Okay. It feels really nice going down. It does feel quite silky. So we'll give this another coat. Okay, the paper is toothier than I expected it to be. Try with the red as well. It does feel really smooth, but when you see the pencil down on it, and you can see quite a lot of the tooth there. Now that's interesting. Okay, I'm going to grab a blender pencil. Right, let's see what this does then. This is only 2 layers of colour, to be fair. Now look at that. Okay, so blender pencils are a yes, yes, yes. Look at that. And look how bright that's come up. That's amazing. Okay, so we're good to go with the blender. I'm going to just clean off the tip here and then we'll try on the blue as well. I'll leave the other half unblended so that you can see the comparison. Now bearing in mind this is only 2 layers of pencil. That's pretty good. Again, just let me zoom in a bit. You can see the difference there. It does make quite a substantial difference and you can see it down in this corner too. So that's really good to know. Your Prismacolors are going to be great. If you use a blender pencil, your Prismacolors are good to go. So now I have a set of Polychromos. Again, these are oil based, not wax based. So let's just have a little shot here. Again, same thing, you can, you see quite a lot of the tooth of the paper. Helps if you've got the pencil the right way around, Jem. Okay, so I'm going for 3 layers. Again, with your Polychromos, naturally you would use lighter layers and, keep going a little bit. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Try with the blue. The blue not so much, maybe. I'm just going to keep going here for a couple of coats. think truthfully I would be satisfied with either pencil. At this stage though, I'm kind of leaning towards the Prismacolor, just for personal preference. Again, you could use a blending solution on this, which I'm just going to show you really quickly. Let's see what happens here. It's not bad. Try on the red. It's pretty good on the red. Personally, I would go with the Prismacolors if it were me. Okay, let's have a look at the back now, where I have used, that's where I've used the Colorless Blender, so we'll leave that just now and see how it dries and see if it shadows any on the other side. Obviously, if you're working on your one-sided images, it doesn't matter a jot, but it'll be interesting to see if we can do this throughout the book. The next thing I have is water-based ink, and I have chosen these colours specifically because some tend to bleed through, excuse me, more than others. So there's green, black, and also just to see how they sit on the paper. They look a bit grainy, especially you can see it in the green. I don't know if I would want to use these. It's certainly taking the ink okay, there's no issues there. The faintest, absolute faintest of ghosting. Just very, very slight. Well, finally we have some alcohol markers. I've picked similar colours. So this is really the final test, isn't it? So there's black. Green. And yellow. So how do we do? And blatant bleed through. As expected, the red's usually one of the main culprits for that, and it is actually starting to soak through quite considerably. So yeah, you can use your alcohol markers, but I would stick to just the ones, the single-sided images would be best for that. Okay then, so there you go. You can see the whole page now. The pencil blender is still showing through. That does fade with time. I have found that, so that's up to you whether it's something you want to deal with or not. But you can see that the alcohol markers, the water-based markers are not bad, but the alcohol markers are definitely going to soak through. I do think it's really nice that she's given us some single-sided images so that you can use alcohol markers and not worry about what's underneath. The problem is for me that it's this left-hand side. It's kind of a bit of a pain for me, especially in images like this that go all the way up to the spine. I'm going to have to do a bit of switching round to get into that, but that's okay. I don't mind it because it's not throughout the whole book. But as I say, I do think it's nice that not only does she have her double spreads and her double-sided images, but she has these single-sided images too. So there we go, that is Ticket to Dreams by Karolina Kubikowska. If you have enjoyed it, please leave me a thumbs up, that would be really, really great. You can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I do a mixture of videos, and I tend to have one up ready to go every Monday and every Friday. Some are more art videos, some are more adult colouring, so just so that there's something for everyone, because it's two things that I really, really enjoy, and of course they all involve playing with art stuff, which is the aim of the game. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.